Welcome to the 8-Night Red Letter Podcast. These upcoming episodes are going to be toned down to the guidelines for YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. Our content will be the same. We don't change. Just certain words, but we stay true over here. Expanding our content to those in need of knowledge. Thank you for your support. Moving forward with tonight's episode, I will speak on ESPN trying to push a narrative for Brittney Griner, and the video is an absolute flop. Carmelo Anthony's jump off mad that he never claimed her. A crazy AB law, the victim mindset, which is something I am fully against. Me and Khalifa lonely ass, desperate for attention, running off at the mouth again. But my response could shock many of you. Finally, the side effects of social media and the effect it plays on females and why you should date women who shy away from the addiction. Let's not waste any more time. Marty, hit the button.
Rated M for mature.
My nigga.
Gator don't play no shit.
Oh shit. Here we go again.
Stop it. You know how that ends.
So let's get into our first topic of the evening. Let's talk about Brittney Griner. So ESPN posted this video saying, trying to push a narrative, don't think of the Brittney Griner trial as a trial. The circumstances that is going on with Brittney Griner is that she broke the law in Russia and now she's being held there as a criminal. So she's going through the court proceedings as we speak. But they're trying to push this narrative because she's a female, a lesbian female at that, and they don't want her to look bad. So they've been pushing this narrative that it's Russia's fault for her breaking the law, right? And this is the same thing that happens here in America. You break the law, you go to jail regardless if you're a female or a man. She plays in the WNBA. I don't watch the WNBA.
I guess,
the only thing that ever comes
feeling.
out of the WNBA is the pay gap, which everybody debunks all the time. Even women debunked it. We just know that their league just doesn't generate revenue. It's just not a powerhouse like the NBA. And the crazy part is the NBA is giving the WNBA millions and millions of dollars, and the WNBA still comes out at the end of the season in the negative. So the WNBA is just not profitable. Women don't even watch the WNBA. They can't even get middle-aged men to come watch the game. Most of the people that go are children just trying to go to a basketball game, trying to get some leisure through the day, children with their parents. But the people that are fighting for this, they don't even go to the game. And they're fighting for this right or this equal pay, but they don't even go to the games because it's just not interesting. So ESPN put this video out titled, Don't Take Brittney Griner's trial as a trial, like it's any different than anything else, than any trial here in America. The ratio on this video is horrendous. And when I mean horrendous, I mean horrendous. So ESPN has 8.51 million subscribers. They posted this video about 4 hours ago. They only have 146 likes. You out of 8 million people, only 146 likes. 146. Guess how many views? 5.9 thousand views. That is less than 0.00005% likes. I haven't seen the dislike because I don't really watch the videos like that. But I can imagine the dislikes are probably in the thousands somewhere. There's a 146 likes to 5K, 6K watching. That's a big disproportion. That means the dislike button has probably been ran through. So it just shows that people don't care. It just shows people don't care. Nobody cares about the WNBA. Nobody cares about Brittney Griner, what she's going through, because people are going through the same thing here in America. They commit a crime, they got to do the time. We just seen R. Kelly get sentenced. Justine Maxwell, she just got sentenced. But what they won't tell you about is Brittney Griner beating her wife. Although they won't tell you that either. And studies show that relationships between women and women are the most domestic violent. So it's a higher chance being in a lesbian relationship that there's going to be a higher portion of domestic violence compared to a man and a woman being in a relationship or a man and a man being in a relationship. And that's just due to emotions. When you get two people that are just emotional, they don't think with logic, that's what ends up happening. And this is what happens with emotional beta males or men that think they're alpha, but they're overly emotional and beating their women. Which should never happen. You should never put your hands on your woman. I mean, and I always give this disclaimer. If she pulls out a weapon on you, that's a different story. If you have to defend yourself, that's different. But there's no need for you to put your hands on a woman. Just walk away. And I always say, once you walk away, you come back and you have that civil conversation. And if she doesn't understand what's going on, you leave her. You just leave her. Just drop everything and leave her, because it's not worth you it's not worth you putting your hands on a woman, and it's not worth you going to jail for it. So that's my advice to you men. But yeah, she's beating her wife, beating her girlfriend. But they're not going to tell you about that because it's the protection of women at the moment, right? This is to protect the women at the moment. So I don't see anything that America could do. And this is how much even America cares about Brittney Griner. Because nobody's doing nothing to, get her extradited over here, out of prison. I remember when Trump was president. Where were they at? When Trump was president, one of the Ball brothers had got in trouble in China for, I don't know what he was thinking about stealing. And they had them, and they were going to go to jail for life, I believe. It was like 3 UCLA players, and they were going to go to jail for life. And, Trump got them out. Got them expedited back over here with no problem. So, Brittney Griner, 31, who has played in Russia during the WNBA offseason, was arrested February 17, at a Moscow airport. Russian authorities claim she had cannabis oil in her luggage and accused her of smuggling significant amounts of narcotic substance, an offense punishable by up to 10 years in prison. So, she's been detained for 130 days since the WNBA started in Russia. So she's already playing. She's already been playing in Russia. So she went to Russia to go play basketball. Right? So it's not like she was forced down there. She went by choice. And this is what I always say, America is a wonderful place. Because I guarantee right now she wish she was in America. And so they're going to have to deal with that right now. She's in court. I don't think she'll get 10 years. I mean, the U.S., there's no statement from Biden or nobody's trying to save her. She's just on her own. And I don't think they care because she's not no importance to the country.
Bruh.
And that's sad to say it. She's still a human being, but
And acknowledge me.
you know how love and war is. So I wish her the best. I hope that she's able to. I don't know how the law is about smuggling drugs and narcotics in Russia. I just know that it could be up to 10 years in prison. So I hope um she can get by. They can find a way for her to beat the case and get her back to America. If not, she got to do the time, just like anybody else. You do the crime, you got to do the time. So, well, let's transition to the next story. All right, let's talk about Carmelo Anthony's jump off. Mad that he never claimed her. And see, this is the problem with a lot of women here in America. Just the modern women, Western society women, not all of them, but the majority of them that have this feminist brainwash, you can say, that they think every man wants them. Like, I did a reaction to Ace Vane of I Love Mary Jane, and she was saying that she went out with Drew Brees and 2 Chainz is in her DMs. But what they don't understand is they're so delusional. They don't understand that these men do not want to date them. They just either want to fuck them, and well, that's pretty much it. Sorry, excuse my language. They just want to have sex with them, intercourse. They just want to have intercourse with them, and they don't understand this. So, this chick, she's probably in that delusional mind state because every guy's in her DM. There's thousands of simps and betas and people in her DMs trying to get at her. So she probably assuming that they all want to date her, right? A woman that has a bunch of men in her DMs is equivalent to a man who's in a friend zone with a lot of women. This is the same thing. These women don't want to have. The women don't want to have sex with this man. All the men want to have sex with this woman. Those are the equivalent of each other. So it's not something that's impressive. Because women get attention just being women. Men have to work to get to a certain status to get the attention from women. So she's upset that he never claimed her. Well, duh, because he was never going to claim you in the first place. That was never his intentions. He's married. Why would he claim you? You know, and this goes back to the delusion. Now she's upset that he didn't claim her. And this is something that women have to understand. When these men go in your DMs, you're talking about your bag. You're talking about your career. You my nigga. I'm this. I'm that. The way you act, the way you do things, the way you carry yourself. They're only going to see you as the box. That's all they're going to see you as is the box. They're not going to look for you to wife you or anything like that. That's why these high-end athletes, they marry white women. And it's unfortunate to say that, but why would I want to deal with somebody that has all these problems, don't know how to carry themselves maturely, don't know how to be feminine, but they're expecting me to claim them, hold their hands in public, and do all that stuff with them? Bro, it's just not going to happen. When I can go get a feminine woman to go out and do things, to be peaceful, basically not embarrass me. You know what I mean? So, of course he didn't want to claim you. Because you've probably been around the block. He knows it. Men can sense when a woman's been around the block. You can kind of put 2 and 2 together. Not most men, because most men are not socially aware. But the men that have game, like, I can tell. If I see a woman, I can be like, the way she acts, the way she carries herself, what she talks about, I can be like, yeah. She's definitely been around the block once or twice. So, you know, I'll sleep with her, but I ain't gonna put her on the gram. She's not gonna be in my pics. I'm gonna tell you one thing about me. If it's my jump off, we ain't going nowhere. We ain't going on no vacations, nothing like that. You have to be my girl for me to take you out and do all that stuff. And I ain't doing none of that stuff with just a jump off. You know what I mean? But you ain't in the pictures. I ain't taking pictures with you. I ain't about to post you nowhere. You ain't gonna meet my parents. It's just not gonna happen because we're not in a relationship. But women think that any man and all these men want to be in a relationship with you. No, they don't. They don't want to be in a relationship. They just want to smash and move on. Or what they want to do, some men will do is they'll keep you in the loop. They'll smash. They'll pretend to like you. Okay, she cool. I'll just hang out with her here and there. Smash again. Hang out with her there. Smash again. But he's not going to show you the attention, or he's not going to give you that relationship status that you solely seek, right? And I always tell men, don't waste your time on a jump off. Don't do that. Just if that's your side chick, that's your side chick. Make sure your main chick is taken care of. Me personally, I don't do the whole side chick thing. I don't really care. For me, I'm too focused on, bettering myself and living better life and having kids and having a family. Eventually, all that shit just gets boring after a while. And a lot of people might say, oh, well, it's just because you don't get women or whatever. I don't care what people say, bro. I have goals in life I want to meet, and one of them is having kids and getting married. Obviously, with prenups and stuff like that, as we talked about in the last episode. But yeah, watch out for women like this, especially if you're gonna do the side chick thing, and she's complaining that she's not getting the attention that she wants from you. Blah, blah, blah. Because she'll go and if you are laying the pipe down correctly, you're doing what you have to do. Some of these women are loony. They'll go over there and they'll confront your wife or your girl, and put you on blast. So just be careful with that, man. And for the women that think these men are in their DMs for them to give them a relationship and stuff, no, they're not. The simps and the betas, the simps and betas I feel are different. But the simps, they'll buy you stuff, you'll take advantage of them, and you won't be with them. The betas, you don't want them. The low value men, you don't want them. These are all the people in your DMs. The high value man, he don't want you. So you're kind of in that ground. You're kind of in that middle ground where either you're getting banged out or you're taking advantage of somebody. So that's where you at. And like the jump off, Carmelo and probably the reason why she came out is because Carmelo's not even focused on her anymore. He done moved on and done something else. So yeah. But let's move on to our next topic. Speaking of not being claimed, Mia Khalifa, she's still out here struggling, trying to find a man to accept her. And now she's trying to give women advice as from a woman that is a failure at being a woman. So basically. And when I say that she's a failure as being a woman, it doesn't mean her career and how much money, because that's not what men look for in women. We're basing this off of what men look for in women, not what women think men look for, right? So let's go ahead and play this clip real quick and then we'll get into it.
Men are the easiest thing in the entire world. If you are wondering how you and another woman got the same man, it is because men are the easiest thing in the entire world. I have never wanted a man and not gotten him. Do you have any idea how many men have wanted me and not gotten me? Granted, some dusties have caught me slipping, but there has never been a single man that I have wanted that I have not gotten, because men, they are cheap and easy.
Now, this time, there's some things in there that are true. Men are easy. There are men out there that will just sleep with anybody, of course. And you got to remember, you're a porn star, or you used to be a porn star that you're trying to get away from, but you won't change your name. But you created an OnlyFans to benefit off of you being a P star. Make it make sense. But unfortunately, men are easy, and I don't think it's what she means. I don't think she means easy as to get, because we know that if you look good, if a woman looks good, she has a nice body, of course that man's gonna be easy to get. But men are simple. We don't need a lot of things like women do. We don't need a woman to make $500,000 a year. We don't need a woman to have a certain social status. A man, a billionaire will take a bum woman, but a woman that's a billionaire won't take a bum man, right? It's just not going to happen. So I think what she's saying is it's easier because men don't have the same standards as women, right? So it's easy. Of course, you're Mia Khalifa. There's probably millions of men that seen you get ran through. They just want to have, and this is another thing, because I think what she's saying, she's trying to say that the men want her to be with her. But what she doesn't understand is that the men don't want her to be with her. The men want her just to have sex with her, right? And of course, she got every man she wanted. Because every man she wanted just wanted to have sex with her. That's why she got every man that she wanted. That's why she's not married to any of those men. That's why she's not dating any of those men. Because what do those men want? Sex. Right? Is it starting to make sense now? They just wanted intercourse with her. That's why she's not with any of them. That's why she didn't marry any of them. Or, sorry, the men choose marriage, the women choose sex. So that's why none of the men chose her. Right? She got married. Guess what happened? Her husband divorced her. Because he knows deep down in his animal brain, he's just taking it. He can't take that. His friends clowning him, everybody clowning him, making fun of him. He just can't do it. You know, her pictures of her on the internet getting ran through, he just not able to do that. So he divorced her. She's with this new guy. I guess they've been together for a year. He look like a beta male. He look like he just do whatever she says. I'm eventually, that's going to end. I have a strong feeling that's going to end. I'm pretty sure he's a cool guy. But it always catches up. You know, people go in and they it's like with Kim Kardashian, it's like with Mia Khalifa, it's like with all these people, they're gonna go in and of course they're gonna want to take fame and status and they're gonna be with this person. But when they got everything, they're gonna just leave that person. That's what men that are leeches, that's what they do. They infiltrate, they get what they need, they get built up, and then they take off on them. You hear plenty of stories of women building up men, and the man cheats on them and leaves them, or they go off with a Becky. That's what the black women say. They go off with a Becky. So I think this is one of those situations. He doesn't look like he's gonna last long. But I wish them the best and the happiness. They've been together for a year, or that's what her TikTok said. So we'll see. But she's speaking a lot of truth. Men are pretty easy, but you are pretty easy as well to get every man you want, to lay down with every man you want. So you would say that you're both easy. So I don't disagree with her at all, but she's just coming out to get attention. And imagine her man hearing this, like, oh, so I was, because you know men are very prideful. So, oh, I was easy to get. That's how you feel. I'm pretty sure they had that conversation. Or he feels some type of way about it, unless he's a beta. And I just have a feeling he's in that area. He's not an alpha. He's a beta. He's just with her to leech, and I guarantee you she runs the relationship. I guarantee you. She got the leg down, pants, the cuff of her pants are rolled up tight. Her wife beat her on. Yeah. So we'll see how long that lasts. Hopefully, I wish her the best because I don't hate people. People do make bad decisions in life that they would come to regret, like her. So I wish her the best, but I just think it might not end as well as I would like, or she would like. You know, she belongs to the streets. Let's talk about the new AB law. It's very disturbing law. As we know, the Supreme Court just overturned Roe v. Wade. A lot of people are upset. A lot of people are happy. I'm neutral. Me personally, I vet my women to make sure that she wants to have kids. So I don't put myself in a situation where a woman that I'm with needs to get an abortion. Everybody outside of me doesn't matter because it's the things that I have to deal with. So that's why I say I'm neutral on that situation. AB lawmakers want to block patients from crossing state lines. To me, this one's kind of harsh. And it's not, and what I mean by not kind of harsh, it's really harsh because now, they're sending people to jail that cooperate with people seeking abortion. So they're basically trying to prevent people from crossing state lines to get a AB. I think that's a little tough. I think you should. Now there, I can see where the whole constitutional right thing, that that in itself right there, that's a problem, and I don't agree with that. Like I said, the decision doesn't bother me, but this kind of bothers me. It's like, okay, you don't have AB in your state, you're not allowing it. So if a person's going to waste their own hard-earned money to go however many states they got to go, because I know in the South, if a woman, and this is another thing too, let me stay on track though. If a woman wants to go, let's say she in the South, let's say she lives in Tennessee and she needs to go to California to get an AB. I'm telling you, flying to California is not a lot. Flying to California is expensive, but flying out of California is not expensive. But I can guarantee you, flying to California is extremely expensive. But now, you got your hard-earned money. You're probably paying, especially in the summer, to come to California, so you're probably paying $500, $600 round trip. You only making federal minimum in these states, and now you get your hard-earned money. You pay to fly to California, and then they say your friend wants to tag along. Right? He or she, not even a part of the. He's not persuading you. She's not persuading you. This person's not persuading you to go. They're just coming along in support. You go down to California, you get this AB, you come back. Obviously, these records are going to show. So, records are going to show. They're going to bring it up. They're going to come to your house and say, you know what? You assisted this person. Now, I don't know how it works. For the person that goes and get the AB, if they would be arrested, I don't. It's just weird to me. The law. I mean, I know that Missouri, when it first happened, they had already banned AB in Missouri. So it's, people are gonna. I mean, it could all be avoided though, It it could all be avoided. Sorry. It can all be avoided, and there's 30 contraceptives out there, so that can avoid the AB. One of them being condoms, and I know that condoms are not the best contraceptive, but they work decently. They work good enough, And then you have the morning after pill. Like I said, like I explained, the women that I've been with, they all had some type of contraceptive, either stitched in them, maybe a patch, maybe a pill they took every once in a while, so they wouldn't end up pregnant to even have to go get an AB. And that was like one of the things that baffled me about it. Is like, why even allow it to get to that point, right? Even in the 8%, what is it? They did it. They showed like the stats, and even if a woman is SA'd, she's 8 out of 5,000 women that get a AB. There's only 8 of them a year that get an AB out of 5,000 women. If I'm saying that correct. If not, you can look it up. But it's a very low number, right? But even in that situation, she can go to the hospital, which I hope she reports the sick bastard that done that crap. She goes to the hospital. They can give her a contraceptive at the hospital. There's no excuse to wait to get pregnant to go have an AB. Like, I don't understand why having an AB is so important to society today when it could be prevented. Maybe not sleep around. You know, be a feminine woman. Keep your legs closed, right? And I'm not saying that you can't have liberty to do whatever you want. Maybe if you sleep with your boyfriend and then you break up with your boyfriend, you sleep with another guy, you break up, that guy's your boyfriend. If you're sleeping with your boyfriends, then that's different. But I mean, if you're just out partying and then sleeping with every guy you see left and right, those are two different things. So you don't rely on the AB. Rely on modern inventions to protect you from getting into that state where you don't have to fly to California or you don't have to fly to New York or Chicago from wherever you're from. Because I know those are going to be the three major AB hubs. And they're probably going to have some sick, nasty AB laws where you can have an AB after birth or you can have an AB 26 weeks in the last month, or so instead of depending on those instead of being outraged and depending on the AB, depending on the AB, depend on the things that can prevent that before. Like I said, any contraceptive, there's more than 30 flavors you can get. Maybe not having sex with a man that doesn't want to wear protection, because you got to remember, women allow sex, men allow relationships, right? So a man can't have sex with you if you don't allow him to. And I think women need to, and this is a small percentage of women that are complaining about this. This is not all women. This is a very minute percentage of women that are mad about this AB law. Because most women in the world, they're not really caring about this stuff. They're like, well, I know what I got to do, or I got kids, or I got my tube tied, or I'm just not sleeping around like that. It's a very, like, I saw this woman was yelling at this guy, and they're always yelling. Like, yelling is going to do something, right? They're always yelling. But yelling is not going to do anything, right? So this guy, he's just there, standing there. And I mean, this woman, white woman, blue eyes, glasses, ugly. I mean, she was like a -3. And I hardly say this because I think people are in their own way are beautiful people. But she was, ooh, oh my goodness, what are you out here for? Ma'am, ain't nobody shooting up the club. Not that club. We are not attending that club, ma'am. And yeah, it's her right to go out and protest. I'm not saying that. But I was like, who are you? Who's in there? My goodness. I was like, and there's just a lot of people that not a lot of black women out there, not a lot of Hispanics, it's mostly white people. White women were out there, right? Nobody else was really out there protesting like that, I mean, they were out there, but not in the numbers as white women, right? So a majority of women, they ain't really care, because most women are still traditional in a sense, to where they know that they're not gonna let a man just skeet and then beat and bounce on, So that's my advice to the women. And stop. And I always tell them, stop voting for these people that you think are going to save you, right? Joe Biden ain't saving no black people. Joe Biden ain't going to do nothing about this AB law, right? This dude, have you noticed all this stuff started happening when he became the president? When DT was in office, these laws weren't getting overturned, right? These weren't the focus of anything, right? It just seems weird. Like a lot of stuff is happening when DT was president. We didn't have high gas prices, taxes weren't crazy. We got JB in the house, and everything's just going down, right? So you can call him. Look at what did JB say? He came out and said, "You just find the nearest state to go to." That's all that's all he basically said. And if somebody says, if I'm JB and I come up and say, it's horrible, it's deplorable, it's horrible what these congressmen did, these congressmen and congresswomen voted on, how does that help? And these people just sit there and, yeah, he's right, but there's no change, right? And that's why I don't mess with woke people. I try to stay away from those type of people, because they fall into the trap every single time. And this is for the people on the far right too. I stay away from anybody that's far left, far right, that's just way out, right? Because they hear the stuff, but they don't put no action to it, right? I'm not talking about going, and this is mostly on the left, going rioting and destroying their city that they have to live in. That makes no sense at all to me. You destroy the city, you destroy your local McDonald's that you're going to wake up and try to go get orange juice from. Like, it baffles me. And then guess what? Nothing happens, right? They've been doing this for years. All this rioting, all this protesting, and the same things keep happening. What's the point? Because people don't listen. We got to understand that, me being a psychology major, we learned that motivation is different from force, right? When somebody yells at motivation in a motivational tactic, it could come off like it's a very complex disproportion, right? Or assertion, sorry. It's very complex because you don't know how the other person's react. But we know that when, say in sports, when a person who is striving to be the best, when he does something wrong and nobody tells him anything, then he's going to think that's acceptable because he's not motivated to be better, right? That's why you always see coaches yelling and berating these people, right, to be better. Yeah, and they make mistakes and you're going to yell at them, but it's going to make them understand that they're doing something wrong, right? Compared to just, I'm yelling at you because I want you to do what I say. Those are two different things, right? People are not going to listen to people that try to force and yell and scream, right? Why would I listen to somebody that's just yelling at me? If I'm not trying to do something, like, for great example, I'm in the gym, I'm benching 240, maybe even 275, and my boy Nop sees me. He's like, "What the fuck is wrong with you, bro? Why aren't you doing 315?" And he's just going off on me. That's gonna make me want to do 315. Like, oh man, he right. I'm over here doing this lightweight. Let me get up on this. Let me put some plates on here. Let me eat. I'm hungry, right? That's going to motivate me because it's a push, right? And that it's because I'm trying to strive to be better at that craft. But if somebody's not trying to, if somebody's not trying to strive at that craft, but they just want to get in shape, you kind of got to peel back a layer and learn how to motivate them, right? Besides yelling. And it's the same thing when it comes to stuff like this. Yelling is not going to get you anything. This is a thing that's going to take a process where you're going to have to sit down with people and talk to them and see. Even though the ruling's not going to get overchanged, a woman voted for it, man voted for it. So, but yelling in the streets, holding up signs is not going to change anything. This is not the era of Martin Luther King. This is not None of that stuff is not going to work anymore because we have technology now. And everybody can see through the BS. Right? I just watched a video of how Instagram influences women and influences people to believe certain lifestyles and certain things, right? Because they want to live that lifestyle knowing that these people are broke, right? These fake woke people will go out, act like they're doing, like they showed one, and I'm going to get into it more later, but they showed one of this white lady. She went out to the protest on in LA by the courthouse, and she just held up a sign. They took a couple pictures, and then they left. Because these people, like I said in another video, these woke people, they don't care. If we were to go to war, a civil war right now, for example, just blacks and whites, all these white people, all these Hispanics, all these Asians, all these other people saying they woke, they're not fighting in the war, bro. They're gonna be on their couch like, oh, this is wrong. Why do black people have to fight? They're gonna be typing on their keyboards. They ain't coming outside. They know the police gonna be out there. They're gonna be like, oh, I have to keep my record clean. There's no soldiers for us. And I always said that. I'm gonna keep saying that because I know it's true. Yeah, people are distant supporters, but they're not gonna get their feet dirty. But yeah, I think this law is terrible. I think you can't do nothing about the Supreme Court making their decision, but people should be able to do as they please when it comes to that. If it shouldn't get to that point, but if it gets to that point, then they get the jitters and they're like, oh yeah, I don't want to do it. They agree to it. I think they should be allowed to go wherever they need to go, especially if they're paying with their money to get that AB. I don't think you should be restricted for doing that. I think that's very sick. And I mean, I don't run the states. Like I said, I'm neutral, but I think that's a little harsh to be doing. Just making a law like that is just, I don't know. That's like California when they were trying to pass it's not a law. I think it's not. I wouldn't say it's a state legislation. It was like when California was trying to pass that legislation. Like if you move out of the state, you still have to pay California state taxes. Man, they knew that. They knew that wasn't going down like that. That's why it never got voted on. It never got into law because they knew that you can't. If people leave California, because so many people are leaving California, right? They're bouncing, they're dipping hard. Every year, California loses more people than it gains, especially businesses, right? So Newsom, oh my goodness, won't get into that. But Newsom, he tried to propose a bill or legislation that would basically, I think it's for a year or so, or for a certain amount of time, that they would still, if you moved out of California, you still had to pay taxes, California taxes. So now, say you go to a state, Texas, Arizona, Utah, some of the places I would move, right, where you might not have to pay taxes, you still gonna have to pay California tax. And I'm pretty sure in the legislation there's gonna be some crazy like 50%, some crap, because they make these laws, and these leftists, they just see it, they're like, oh, that makes sense, but they don't read the fine print. Oh, they just sign off on it, not knowing they're putting themselves in it. So yeah, that AB law would just be that's terrible. Like I said, it's up to the state. I don't run the state. They're gonna make their own laws. Missouri, I'm not in disposition with them. I'm not in agreement with them. They just made a law, and the people there, that they just have to deal with it. You could go talk to your lawmakers, but in the South, this is even in the Midwest, I think most of the United States would agree with the decision of the Supreme Court. Any liberal state that's fully liberal, That's where they're going to have the disagreement. California, Chicago, New York, all the little states, Seattle, Oregon, mostly anything on the West Coast besides Utah's conservative. Mostly anything that's not on the edges of the United States is conservative. So most of them are going to agree with it. Right? Everything else, you can pull up a map right now. You're going to see all middle states, from everything in the South is red. You don't even have to go to the South to see red. But if you like the West Coast, Anthony Logan called it the left coast, right? California, Oregon, Seattle, right? And then on the other side, it's New York. I don't even think Connecticut is a blue state. I think Connecticut's a red state. Maine is a red state too, I believe. So just in that area where it's highly densely populated are mostly liberal states. Chicago. Yeah, I think that's the stronghold for liberals. And that's because they have so many people, so the masses are going to come out higher when you have a completely dense cities like that. Well, I hope that these laws don't go in effect, because I think now you're trying to take rights away from people. Not the right to AB, but the right to travel, right? And I think you're taking the right away of freedom to travel about, which we always had. I think it is the Ten Commandments. I think the Ten Commandments. I was reading the Bible. I think it is in the dang, I can't even think of the paper. But yeah, you have the freedom to travel, basically. So I think you're taking that right away, constitutional right away, by saying that even if the AB, they're going to get AB, you're prohibiting them from traveling for that reason, which is unconstitutional, right? So I don't think it will pass, because they're gonna find a way, like they're gonna find a way to say, hey, you know what, this is very unconstitutional, because travel is a right to them. I have to look that up, but it's like to go abroad is a human right to go from state to state, out of country, like, or maybe just here in America, state to state. But I know it's a constitutional right to travel, or to be able to travel. So imagine if a person is getting an AB, and this was something I would do. I'll just go on a trip. I'm just going on a trip. You know. Now the only thing is, when you come back and you got to go to the hospital, and I feel like this is going to be the whole pronouns trans thing, where they're going to force the hospitals to report this stuff. And I think even when you get the AB, you're going to have to come back to the hospital in your state, because you're not going to stay. I guarantee you, come to California, out of state, to even just get the AB is going to be expensive. But to even just stay there for a while to get all the rechecks and stuff like that after the process, you on borrowed time. You paying upward at least 5 to 10. I mean, it's California's expensive, especially if you don't have no insurance. So you're gonna fly back to your state wherever you come from. You're gonna have to do that post checkup, because you got to make sure that everything's going well after the procedure. And then you might even go to the hospital, not the hospital, but you might go to your local doctor and say, "Oh, I've been feeling this pain," and they might say, "Well, it's just from birth," because usually when you are pregnant, you go to a certain doctor. That doctor sees that you're pregnant. Then 5 weeks later or whatever, you come back to the same doctor. They're gonna be like, "What happened?" Now the state might force that doctor to report that, and then that's when it's going to become a problem. So, if it makes it to that point where which you shouldn't, be mature about the situation. Find ways to get contraceptives. Condoms are free. Even if you have to bust a double up. I know it doesn't feel good. You better find a man pull-out game that's strong. But to avoid this hassle, there's just so many ways to avoid it. But if it does get to that situation, I'm just going to pray for you and wish you the best. That's all I can do. All right, moving on to the next topic. So, let's speak about how Instagram affects the mental health of people, especially women, right? And I said this before, you want to vet a girl. I don't want to say a girl because I feel like I know that female, but for me, girl just sounds so like innocent, like so young, right? You want to get a woman. That's what I want to say. That doesn't partake on Instagram, right? Her self-esteem is high. She's not concerned if people like her or not. She doesn't have the anxiety. But we're going to go a deep dive with some studies and see why these things are affecting people, not just women, but affecting people. But we know women are the higher users of Instagram. The reason men use it is for they have status or to create status, but women use it to build self-esteem, to build certain body images, stuff like that. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Studies have linked Instagram to depression, body image concerns, self-esteem issues, social anxiety, and other problems, right? By design, the app is created to capitalize on users' biological drive for social belonging and nudges them to keep them on scrolling. Right? And I watched a video on YouTube, and this guy was exposing these Instagram models that would be on private jets and stuff like that, exposing them as fake, right? Just recently, there was a influencer. I don't follow any Instagram models, to be 100% with you. Just keep it a beam, because I don't give a fuck. I'm a man that just don't give my random attention to any woman. And I'm really solid about this stuff. Like, I just don't give my attention to people like that. Like, if I don't care, I don't care. Like, I just don't. I never been that person. You see all these men on there following all these Instagram models and giving them likes and commenting in the comment section. I ain't doing all that crap. I don't have time for that crap. Because those are not women that I'm attracted to. Some of them are very beautiful, but what I'm not attracted to is just, that's something that psychologically that I would have to deal with. If I was, say, to get with one of those women, I would have to deal with them posting their body all the time, flirting with guys, not giving up their Instagram, to be not wanting to start a family. The things that I don't look for in a woman. So why would I put myself in that situation? So me, I don't follow none of those people. But what I was saying, this guy, he was exposing these Instagram models, and basically, they had pictures of them on a private jet, but it was just a set. It was just a movie set. Not even a movie set. It was just a set. You pay $49 an hour, $34 for every hour after that, or something like that. And you can go in there and you can take pictures. So a lot of these models were just going in there, or I don't count Instagram models as real models, because I can say I'm an Instagram model, take my shirt off and post a picture. I'm an Instagram model. These women posing to be models went in there and took pictures, portraying a life that they don't live. Because we got to remember, a lot of these quote unquote Instagram models, they're not successful. They're not rich. Everybody says, a lot of women go out and say, "Oh, I'm a model," but you don't work for an agency. You're not getting paid for that. This is just something you're doing for yourself. You just go take pictures on the beach or whatever. You get them edited because women, overall, higher than men, way higher than men, edit their photos. It doesn't matter what it is. They edit their photos like crazy. They Photoshop them. They make their nose bigger. They make their butt bigger. Whatever it is to match a standard that men like. There's not a. I don't want to say there's not a woman out there, but I can guarantee you, maybe 95% of women that are in this trying to look like other women, they're photoshopping, editing their photos, which creates what? Body image concerns, self-esteem issues. Right? Because these women are trying to compete. That means they don't have the confidence in themselves to compete normally, right? So just recently it came out, this quote unquote Instagram influencer model, she was flying first class. She had her pictures taken and everything. Then one of her fans exposed her. She was flying coach with the regular people. Didn't even have the window. At least get the window, boo. Get the window. Pay a little extra to get the window, but maybe she don't have that extra. And this is the life that they portray on Instagram, and this is the life that people see on Instagram that other women are trying to chase. Right? But when they can't keep up, these things start to happen. Right? These depressions, these concerns, these body issue, the social anxiety, right? These things start to creep up. Like, why can't I get the man that she wants? Why can't I live the life that she wants to, that she's living? Why can't I do this? Why can't I do that? Why can't I do this? It affects men to a certain extent, right? But I think the opposite from women and men is that men see something and they ask questions about it, or they go to try to actually be like that person. Like, I was watching an episode of a bodybuilder, and he was saying, they were comparing who gets like interactions on comments, right? When a woman posts a pic of herself on a beach or whatever, she gets flooded comments from men. But a man who posts like he's really ripped, he's a bodybuilder, he gets comments from other men. He doesn't get a whole bunch of comments from women. He gets comments from men, because men are more interested in improving themselves, because we know we have to improve ourselves. But women, if you look good enough, you wear enough makeup, you Photoshop your photo good enough, you're gonna get men, the opposite sex, inside on your comment section, trying to hit at you. But a man, no matter what he does, he's gonna have other men wanting to improve themselves or ask questions. How did you get there? How can I make myself better? Right? So that's a big disparity between when men post photos and women post photos. Right? So when this woman's posting these photos and she's not getting the same likes, maybe let's just make up some names. We got Jessica and we got Rashinda, right? And say Rashinda is getting all these likes, she's getting all these follows, she has 5K followers, she's living this life, she's in Dubai, getting the dookie on her, flying back with 50K. Oh man, there's some weird stuff that I heard. Like, this dude likes to play with hummus, and he likes to rub it on the body and put it in his butt. Like, all kind of crazy stuff I've heard when I was researching this topic. And these women were doing it for like 25Ks. Like, crazy. But that's another topic for another day. Right? They're doing all this live. They're at Dubai, which is currently seeking. They're all over the world. And then Jessica over here, like, man, I'm doing everything like that. I'm getting the likes and this and that. But why am I not getting the likes out? Why ain't nobody liking my pictures? Right? Why am I not getting 5K followers, right? Because women, it's always a competition. For most women, it's always a competition. I don't care what no woman says. It's a competition. We're all out here competing for somebody, right? Because if we weren't competing, we wouldn't I don't want to say we, but if they weren't competing, they wouldn't get their nails done. They wouldn't be putting on makeup crazy. They wouldn't be posting pics everywhere trying to get likes and attention. And this is something that they're unaware of, right? Because there's things that we do that we don't realize we're doing it, or we can't understand the feeling that we get from it. And two, you have to be a individual that really cares and loves themselves to understand how it affects you, right? If you don't have no self-confidence, or you have low self-esteem, then you're not going to realize how it's affecting you because you like the feeling, right? He was also going off of saying that the reason why, and all the companies do it, Instagram, Facebook, even Apple, the reason why your notifications are red is because it's like an emergency. It's like you need to see it. Like, oh, it's an emergency. You need to see it. It's a psychological effect. Like the red light means stop. Red means emergency. Red means pay attention, stop sign, right? Excuse me. So it's an emergency. I need to see it. When you're getting all these likes and comments and stuff, even though they might be negative, look at the effect of, you can get 100 positive comments, but you get one negative comment. Why do people focus so much on the one negative comment, right? It's because mentally they don't enjoy the negative. They enjoy the positive. It gives them a good feeling, but they don't understand that because they are enjoying that feeling, right? They can't process that. Oh, I'm confident in myself. I'm not worried about that comment. Move along, right? Because they're not confident in themselves. They don't have high self-esteem. This is an addiction to them. And it says, look at these images and see that these things you want are being rewarded with a lot of likes. It can cause anxiety. It may lower your mood or even give you self-esteem issues, right? And we have to be careful of this addiction. So here's how Instagram harms young women, according to research, right? So they did research, and it can cause, and this is on Forbes, so anybody can go look this up. The title of it is called, Here's How Instagram Harms Young Women According to Research. Right? The first one, eating disorder risk increase with social media use, right? And this is basically, body positivity or body image, right? Like I said earlier in this section, women are competing, whether they like it or not, right? And that's not a bad thing. Hey, if you want to get the best man in the world, because women, that's what they look for. They look for the best man that they can find. And men look for the most sexual partners they can get. Right? It's just biology. It's just how it is. Don't get mad at me. I'm just reporting it. So this goes back to the body image thing. Is that women are trying to look at other women and say, man, I want that. Which is nothing wrong with that. You should aspire to be the best person you want to be, but you should aspire to do it for your health, not aspire because you see that they got 2 Chainz in their DMs, or they got Usher in their DMs. That shouldn't be your aspirations for being in the best shape of your life. The use of social media is associated with heightened body image and dating concerns or eating concerns. Developing characteristics may be adolescent particularly vulnerable of these effects. Right? And it's just basically saying that they're trying to get to this high standard. And this is where Photoshop comes in, right? We know the Kardashians they're the Photoshop queens, right? I think Chloe had took a picture poolside, And oh my goodness, she lost it because she said that's not an image that she wants to portray out there. So that means she's not confident in herself. What's wrong with your natural beauty? You know, they did a side by side of Pokimane without makeup, right? And I mean, I tell you, that is a whole different woman. They're not the same person, right? Because women know that their beauty is the most impactful thing in life, and their vagina, obviously, right? So they know the way they look, the things they do, how they look, determines the attraction that they will get or the money. Like, Pokimane came out the other day, and she said if she was to start on OnlyFans, she would make $2 to $10 million a month. $2 to $10 million a month. Is that many simps out there? Never going to see this woman. Never going to touch this woman. I think she was also on a live stream, and some guy gave her $1 million on a live stream or something like that. Something ridiculous. Never going to see this woman, right? And that goes back to self-gratification, right? So another one was, we talked about depression, lower self-esteem, appearance anxiety, body dissatisfaction are all associated with Instagram use. And going back to this woman, she's a foreigner, and I talked about it last time. She's not worried about that. She has no posts, or even women that just have posts, but they're not posts like, oh, I need to show my body and I need to get all these likes and stuff, and because they don't allow themselves to be caught up mentally in this lifestyle, because they know that it will ruin them, or maybe they're just confident and respect themselves, right? Posting selfies impacts moods, right? One study published in 2018 found that a college-age woman who took and posted selfies reported the worst mood and felt less attractive. Increasingly, these negative outcomes occur even when allowed participants to retake and retouch their photos. And this is perfection anxiety, because I get it sometimes. They go back to the zodiac sign, the Libras. I get perfection anxiety sometimes. Like, everything just has to be perfect. Oh, I can't. No, I don't like how this looks. I don't like how this looks. Like, I get that sometimes. So if it affects me as a man, and maybe it's just my drive that I want everything to be perfect. Like, I don't want to leave a job undone or unfinished incorrectly. But it still has an effect. So imagine a woman who's already self-consciously unsatisfied with herself to even take the steps where she has to retake and retouch the photos, and she's still not happy. That's going to lead to a lot of problems mentally. Even in the heart. A lot of these women off themselves because they're trying all this stuff and they're not getting the results they want. They're not getting the men they want. And that's just a byproduct of their decisions they made in life. Don't think you're going to make certain decisions in life and there's going to be a man that you want. Everything you want in a man, he's going to be there for you. This is just not going to happen. If you make proper decisions in life, that man that you want is going to be there for you. But if you go the other route, the man you want is not going to be there for you because he's not going to want you. And women always say, oh, there's a man that will accept you. Yeah, there's a man that will accept you. But are you going to accept him? Is that the man you want? Which that's the man you don't want, right? We got to remember these things. These ladies talking out their ears, but not listening, right? So it's very sad that it does happen. It does happen. It's perfection. Nothing's ever perfect. And it's something that I realized mentally that I was dealing with, trying to be perfect, even trying just to be a perfect human being, being nice, respectful. You can only go so far. Perfection is impossible, right? Because what people don't understand is the person trying to be perfect doesn't determine perfection, right? What's around him or her determines perfection, right? If I post a picture, well, I'm a man, so that stuff doesn't really bother me. But if I post a picture and I don't like how my jawline looks, or I don't like how the picture might look nice to me, I might say, you know what, that's perfection. Well, I like it. But a woman might say, man, your jawline is crooked, or your facial hair is not shaved right. I'm gonna start to feel some type of way because I'm thinking, to me, this is Picasso. I like it. But to somebody else that is supposed to see this perfection, it's not perfect to them. Nobody's gonna ever 100% agree or 100% disagree. You're not gonna get 100% on both sides ever, right? You think Jennifer Lopez? Every man thinks Jennifer Lopez is hot. No, I'm pretty sure she gets some comments down there where they're like, "Man, she ugly." You think Beyonce is attracted to everybody? I mean, looks attractive to everybody? No, there's gonna be people out there like, "Oh, Beyonce, oh, the hell is that?" Right? It's just like Brad Pitt for the female side. Other A-list actors or rappers or whatever. You're not perfect. Nobody's gonna completely find you attractive or perfect. So we need this. One thing that a lot of women need, especially women, because this affects them the most, needs to just stop looking to be perfect and just be you. Find things to do to make yourself happy. All these women today say, "Oh, I am happy." No, you're not. You were happy, you wouldn't need the likes. You wouldn't need the comments. You wouldn't need male approval. Right? You wouldn't need people to talk about you. You wouldn't need to fake private jets. You wouldn't need to go to Dubai to get a porta potty. You wouldn't need to do all that if you truly 100% respect yourself. It's true, you wouldn't need to put a pound of makeup on your face. Right? I love women. Like I said, that's a turn on to me. Women that don't wear makeup. That's a turn on to me. Because like I said, I want to come home. I'm dating J-Lo. I wake up and she's Shayna Baszler. That's just not what I would prefer. Right? And people are gonna say, well, you're not supposed to like her for her what she looks like. How do you think I even get the chance to like her? I need to be able to be attracted to her first. I hate when people say, well, what about their personality? I can't even talk to you unless I find you attractive. I'm not gonna wait. If I don't find you attractive, I ain't going to talk to you. Well, man, I am stone cold solid out here, baby. What is wrong with you? Man, like I said, I don't even talk to women that turn me down. If you turn me down, I ain't gonna chase you. I ain't got time for that. What makes you think I want to talk to a woman I'm not even interested in, not even attracted to? Man, I don't even chase the women I'm attracted to. Come on now. You out here, what did Stephen A. Smith says? Blasphemous. Just blasphemous. Yeah, no. Another one is social media uses increased desire for cosmetic surgery. Right, and it's in a study, and this is 2010, so this is an old study. It examined 600 Dutch adolescents between 11 and 18 years old, and found social media was associated with the increased desire for cosmetic surgery. I don't think every woman wants to take the knife to the body. That's a blow that can, if the surgeon is not good, that's a blow that can hurt. I've heard stories of women passing on from poor surgeries. Those back alley surgeries. So I don't think every woman wants to do it, but I do think there's a high. If a woman is not confident in herself, she might not have the biggest breasts, and she might. Oh, men always make fun of me because I don't have. To me, I'm a breast man. I ain't gonna lie to you, but if I have a chance to sit down with this woman, she have an A cup. I don't care. If I have a chance to sit down with this woman, and the right things come out of her mouth, the right words are said, the right words are spilled, all that goes out the window. right? She don't have to have the biggest ass. I've dated Asian women before, right? She doesn't have to have all this, the glamour, the bells and whistles. But as long as she's a traditional woman, a good woman, then I'm not gonna be out here like, oh, she got to have ass, she got to have boobies, she got to have peaches, she got to have grapefruits. I'm not worried about that stuff because to me, all that stuff is material, right? So a lot of these women are material these days. It's not even their real body no more, and that's to even get surgery shows how low your self-esteem and confidence is. To even get surgery for men too. If you're getting a 6-pack surgery, you getting the oil in your arms, you have no confidence in yourself, and then you come out looking dumb as hell. Now you don't like the way it looks. Now you want more surgery. I think men that get surgery, they're worse than women. There was this episode, something surgery problems or surgery something, where this guy, he was a flamboyant guy, and he had like over $300,000 in surgery or something, $1 million, something like that, crazy. And he's the Ken doll or something like that, and he just kept getting surgery because he's never satisfied with the way he looks, and that's how women can be. They can get the surgery, but they're not. Oh, I don't look good, so they're gonna keep getting surgery. Like, oh man, Kim Kardashian has the ugliest peach ever. That thing's just toe back because she didn't have so much surgery on it. It's terrible looking, right? But they think it looks good until somebody tells. And this is a sad thing about women. They think it looks good until somebody tells them it doesn't look good. And when somebody says it don't look good, that's when they start getting in their feelings. Oh, I think I need to go get it fixed. I remember this just random woman. She got a boob job, and and a couple of people were just like adding her like, oh, no, that doesn't look good. So she went and got them reduced. So what was the whole point of getting a boob job, thinking that people were gonna like it, and then getting it reduced? It's because I always say, if you let people dictate the way you live, you let them tell you what to wear, you let them tell you how to dress. I'm sorry, the same thing. Tell them how to smell. If they tell you that you don't look good or you don't like this, and then you change for them, those people have become your God. Those are the people that you praise. You should never change for anybody unless it's your wife. And the only time you should change for your wife or your kids is if you're doing something really bad, like criminal activity, being abusive, which I tell men don't be doing that shit. Things that could be harmful to the relationship, right? That could put the relationship in jeopardy. But don't change how you dress. Don't change how you act, because that's the way you attracted your wife or your woman, right? Because she's not gonna be your wife if you're a fuck boy, you could say, right? She's not gonna be your wife because of that. So you have to have endearing qualities that would make a woman not want to marry you, because men decide who gets married. I saw a woman proposing to a guy. He said no, and I think it's the reason because his masculinity was being challenged, right? I believe I would say no too. Like, I'm the one that's going to propose to you. This is a man's job to do that, right? If you want to get married, bring it up. Say, hey, babe, it's been a while. Like, what are your thoughts on moving on? And this is the thing that people just can't be honest. They just can't talk things out. So brain activity changes with likes, right? One study conducted a brain MRI. Sorry, I don't know why I was going to say MIR. Study of adolescents to examine the brain activity associated with Instagram likes. It is a type of image that can pinpoint the changes in blood flow in different parts of the brain and can indicate the location of brain activity. The participants exhibited great brain activity when they were shown photos with more likes. When their own photos received likes, the brain's reward center would activate. The researchers concluded a like in a social cues specific to adolescence. Cultural spheres and adolescents use this cue to learn how to navigate their social world. I'm telling you, that like is more dangerous than taking a bullet. It's an addiction. Because, and we're talking about just women here and some men. Because I don't think all men, I go to the two men's pages, they got like 60 likes. I don't think they really care. They ain't out there doing it like that. But women, they hitting that like button. They see those numbers going up. They're like, oh yeah, look at me. I feel great. Yeah, they like me. Because today is the day that people are looking for attention. They need it. They crave it. Like in the beginning, what I read is that it's targeting those social belongings, right? It's targeting us because we are social creatures. So when you engage in this and you're getting all these likes, it tells you mentally like, oh, okay, I feel better about myself. Until you get that comment. That one comment, right? Because they know this is why makeup is a big industry. And I plan to just hop right in. I'm going to dive in. I'm going to start a makeup line too, because unfortunately, whether women want to admit it or not, you wear makeup for self-esteem issues. Right? And if you combat that by saying, oh, I do it for myself, that still means you have self-esteem issues because you're still doing it to cover up something that you don't like. You have less self-confidence in yourself. Like I said, to me, natural beauty, she winning all day. I don't care how good the other broad looks, whatever. But this chick is just natural beauty. She don't wear makeup. She just come out. Obviously, I have to be attracted to her, but it's a win. It's a win all day. All day, it's a win. The other girls, I don't care how good their body look. They taking L's because I know that you don't respect yourself. You don't have self-confidence in yourself. Why go to a club wearing makeup? You're going to sweat that shit all over the place. I mean, I'm assuming they got technology now, makeup that doesn't sweat and doesn't move. But if you're going to a club, right, and you're dancing amongst a bunch of women, are you trying to attract women? Because you just ain't wearing makeup to look good in front of women, especially if you're not attracted to women. Nope, you're wearing makeup to get attention from men. It's okay. Because if you're just going out to go out, then you wouldn't wear makeup. What do you need? Imagine, I've seen it happen. Women will put makeup on just to go to the grocery store. Just to buy groceries. Like, that is not self-confidence. You know, I just watched a TikTok where a guy asked this woman a question, and he said, would you date me? I guess he was just trying to put himself out there. And the woman said, no, you're too short. And he's like, well, he said something in between the lines. Well, I have confidence in myself. Why do you wear makeup? And the first thing the woman said, oh, you got me there. You got me there, right? Because she knows, at least she realizes that she needs this makeup to improve herself. A men can improve our height. Thank the Lord I was blessed to be 6'1". So, we can improve our height, and you can't improve your looks, right? When you take that makeup off and remove that surgery, especially when you get old, your looks are still going to be the same. You're still going to be in the same spot. Even worse with the surgery. You're going to look worse with the surgery. Depending on where you get surgery, I would stay away from the lips and the face. It says drive for thinness increased with Instagram use. In particular, the study found that viewing appearance-focused posts, models, fitness, bloggers, result in increased drive for thinness. Viewing other types of posts did not have the same impact. And this goes back to self-confidence. So as you can see, we have a dialogue going on here. There's a plot in this story. It goes back to self-esteem and confidence, right? Women are highly self-conscious about their body, about the way they look. And that's why I go back to, again, I love women that They're not worried about that. Like, you don't need to be on Instagram posting your body to get likes, to get some type of approval, to feel some hunger. Like, I just love that. That will get the ring. The other person that does all this stuff, they don't have no chance to get the ring. Like, I will go 6 months. If she's the right person, 6 months, 7 months, you can have the ring. If you prove to me that you're worthy of it, obviously. But I would never hold back from a woman like that. Like, oh man, she's self-confident. She's confident in herself. She's beautiful. She ain't trying to compete out here with all these other women. She's just doing her, right? I think that's more important than anything. I think having a stable mental health is more important than having a bag or having a career or having all that crap that we don't care about. Having this beauty, having these tits, having this ass. I think that mental stability is more important than all that crap. Because the only reason why you say all that crap is because you're trying to prove something to somebody that doesn't care. Right? Why do you need to yell that stuff out? Why do you need to talk like that? Why do you need to wear makeup like that? Why do you need to get these surgeries? Because you're trying to prove something to somebody that don't care. You're trying to prove something to your God. Your gods out here that judge you. You're letting judgment affect you, and I wouldn't want to be in a relationship with a person that cares what other people think about them and have to change their every 5 minutes to please these people that are still going to find something else negative about you, right? I'd rather have my girl. That's why a lot of foreigners, the majority of women that are foreigners, they're being more accepted these days because they're not into those things. That's not all the women, but I'm talking about the foreigners that are not into like the Instagram and blowing up and doing all that crap. They just want to be traditional women that work, come home, have kids, have a family, a loving husband, a life like that. But a lot of women that are on these Instagrams and stuff, they're trying to just, I want to be the best woman in the world. I gotta look like a Barbie just to get attention from men. No, stop that, because that's gonna mess you up in the long run. Manipulation of photos is a problem for body image, and of course, like I was talking about, I Love Mary Jane of Ace Bane. When the guy comes in, he says, "Oh, you don't look nothing like your Tinder photo," right? Because the whole point, these women masquerade themselves, and they put on this makeup and they have these surgeries, but they don't understand that they're not going to look the same like they want to look. They're not going to be prepared mentally for the failures that they're going to occur, right? When they do this body shop, body shop. When they do the Photoshop and they do all these things to edit their body and put the makeup on and all this stuff, and then when the man sees them, they're going to be like, whoa, and then that hurts them because, go around and tell a woman she's not a 10. Any woman, well, maybe not any woman, but the majority of women, go out there and tell them not a 10 and see how offended they get. Oh, you ugly nigga, you this and that. Because women don't hold L's, they don't take accountability. Not all women. I love a woman that takes accountability if she's out there. But the majority of women can't hold an L. They can't take accountability. It's always somebody else's fault. So if you tell a woman, I don't think you're a 10, I think maybe you're a 4. That's just my honest opinion of me. I'm not looking for attraction. If you're some sort of attractive, I'll be like, okay, I'll give her a chance. But if I find a woman obviously that's more attractive, I'm gonna be like, yeah, obviously I'm gonna talk to her. But say you're sort of attractive, maybe you're a 7, maybe you're a 6, and then you're just a beautiful person when I speak to you, I'm fine with that. But there's women out there that go to the lengths to change their body and expect a man to accept them as a real person. Like, why you don't look like that? It's a great example. Back then they didn't have Instagram, but Friday, when she looked like Janet Jackson, and then when she pulls up, it's a whole different woman, right? So that's what it's like. And you can see Chris Tucker like, oh, no, not me, not tonight, right? That's the feeling that men get, like, ugh, that's not the same person, right? So I think that's the worst sickness you can have is low self esteem, low self confidence, especially when you're in the business of manipulating your photos for people to give you that acceptance, right? That's a sickness. That's a mental issue that needs to be fixed. And I think there's some other things here. Those who compare themselves with others at the greatest risk, right? Several studies indicate those who engage in social comparison compare themselves to others at a greater risk for the negative outcomes associated with social media use, right? Suicide, suicidal thoughts linked to social media use. I don't want to say that word. Reducing social media use reduces loneliness and depression. It does. Oh my goodness, that is a real one. You kind of push, and that's why I'm more attracted to those type of women. Is because when you're off social media, you're focused and you know what you want. When you're on social media, you don't know what you want, and this is why a lot of women are divorcing or a lot of women are cheating in a relationship. Is because they can't pair bond because they see so much and they do so much. They run the streets. So when they find somebody that settle down, they can't pair bond with that person because they're used to just being running around with, right? But and that also comes back to self confidence, right? That's why they say men can't handle a real woman or whatever that saying is, like confidence or whatever, or strong woman. But it's the flip side. A woman can't handle a mature man. She can't handle, like, they always say, why can't I find a good guy? Because you had that mature man there. You had him in front of you. Somebody was going to respect you, give you chivalry. Now, if he's a simp, obviously it's different. But if he was like a real man, like he did everything right, you know, he had a job, he had a car, he's working his way towards stuff, doing things, right? He respected you. He never put his hands on you, possibly not cheating on you, right? I think women can't handle that type of man. Women are attracted to, causing problems. There's a lot of women like that type of attention, and we all know it. Nobody can say that that they don't, right? Because there's women out there that will start problems just to start problems, just to get that attention from their man, right? Like the lady with the McDonald's food. Not a problem at all. He's bringing food for his kids. It's not his obligation to take, but she needs that attention. She had her phone out. She had her phone out before he even got there. Right? That tells you one thing, that she needs attention. She needs validation from other people. Right? Then she doubles down, which is even weirder. Or like women that just come out of the blue and say, "Oh, I'm not having sex because of the AB law or Roe v. Wade being turned." Nobody asked you though. You know what I mean? Like, why would you just come out and say that? It's because you need the attention. Nobody asked you. Nobody's like, oh, I'm not knocking boots anymore because my shoes is untied. Nobody asked you, right? It's because you need to get the attention, and attention is it's really it's sad, man. Everybody wants attention, even me. We all want attention to a certain extent. It's really tough, man. Attention is an interface connecting to encoder and a decoder that provides a decoder with information from every encoder hidden. It's really strenuous, right? Attention can be really strenuous on people. You know, not only does our additional introvert details, but it also affects our perception of stimulating surroundings, right? Think of attention as a highlighter. As you read through a section of a textbook or highlighted section stands out, right? It's not just about centering your focus on a particular thing. It involves ignoring a great deal of competing information or stimuli. Attention allows you to tune out information, right? Sensation, perception that are not relevant at the moment, or instead focus on your energy. The information is important, right? So I would say there's two different ways of. There's only two ways. You either give or you receive attention, right? And some attention can be thirst. And when I mean thirst, it's just like I don't want to use Urban Dictionary, but it's just like a person that's just, oh, I gotta have it. Ooh, I gotta have this. I gotta do this. I gotta get it. Like it's an addiction. Attention is an addiction for some people. It's a drug. Attention makes people happy. Gives them a good feeling. What do drugs do? Sometimes make people happy. Gives them a good feeling. But when you stop getting that attention, you relapse. You start, not relapse. I'm mixing up my terms, but you start to have cravings for it. So you start to do anything that you can to be relevant again in the front of a large masses. Like I watched a video of a guy. He went to Walmart, a black guy. He went to Walmart, wherever he's from. He had a gallon of milk. He had no shirt on. Not a very attractive guy, you would say. You can say he was in his mom's basement. He hopped on, in Walmart, they got the little spinning bag stands where you grab the bag and it spins or whatever. He hopped on top of that and started screaming and pouring milk all over himself. That's how addicting attention is. When you will go out and embarrass yourself like that. People do the dumbest things to get attention. All right? Like the woman during COVID coughed on a guy. She thought that shit was cool. People out here being fake woke. People flying fake jets. Posting fake stuff like just for attention because it's mentally ingrained in them now that it gives them endorphins that make them feel good. Like, it makes them feel good. It gives them a high. But they don't understand the damage that it will do to them when they don't get that attention anymore. Why do you think that Chloe was mad about that picture? Why do you think Kim Kardashian, her son, seeing that sex tape, right? Because people are going to start to turn on them, right? They're not going to get the attention because you can still get attention, but it might not be the attention you want, right? And this is why it's so hard. This is why it complexes the brain. It messes up the brain mentally, messes up people mentally, because you seek the attention, but you might seek attention you don't want, which to put you in a depression state, right? Or make you feel some type of way. And problems just keep abounding and abounding and abounding on each other. So the best thing to do is moderate your Instagram use, right? Or your social media use, period. Now, if you're an influencer and that's what you want to become, and you have to, before you even start, make your mind strong. You're going to go rough patches. I'm going through rough patches. People are not going to always like what I say or things I do. I've had comments on YouTube, comments on TikTok, with people not agreeing, but I handle it because mentally I'm strong. I know, like, okay, I'm just going to answer your question. I'm not going to go back and forth with you. I'm not a child. I'm a grown ass man. Like, and maybe because I'm a man also that's not rooted in emotions, more rooted in logic, so we can have this back and forth conversation and I can understand your points. And me having an open mind, coming from a psychology background, I'm not gonna go back and forth with you, but we can have a civil conversation, and I can understand your side, right? Knowing that these circumstances can happen or these things can happen, but I I won't deny your point, right? Because I know that these things can happen, or depending on the circumstances. So what are we talking about? What's the topic about? So I know. So maybe I'm just level headed in that point, right? Not everybody's gonna like you. Like I had um I wouldn't. He was just subscribed to me, or not subscribed to me, but he was a follower on Instagram. So he unfollowed me, and so I asked him like, "Why did you unfollow me?" And he's just like, "I didn't like the content being produced." And I said, "Well, why don't you elaborate on the things you don't like? Maybe it could help me become a better content creator, right? Because I'm not the type of closed mind person that like, oh, well, if you don't like it, whatever, nigga. No, I want to learn because I also want to grow. Not to be respectful, right? You're not gonna you're not gonna always win, right? Not everybody's gonna agree on everything you say, but it could help me learn a lot more in my craft. It'd be better if I hear feedback instead of just people just leaving, right? And you can't stop people leave and they come and they go. You can't stop everybody, but once you get the chance to be able to talk to that person and understand why, you can gauge on how to come out the next episode or the next podcast or the next video that you do, right? And it might be something that you just don't really care about, like, oh, okay, whatever, it's not a problem, right? But I'm mentally strong enough to be like, oh, so he left because I was doing something wrong. I could either say, duck it, or I could say, you know what? This is a learning experience. Let me learn something from this. So this leads us into our next topic, and I truly despise this thing. That thing that I despise the most is the victim mentality. And basically what a victim mentality is, it's a learned behavior and it can be changed. But it's a defense mechanism to cope with adversity in life. A great example. I'm going to give myself as a great example. I used to be in the system, right? When I failed to transition out of the system into adulthood, and I became homeless, right? Which is completely my fault. But I still blame the system for not providing for me, even though the system provided so much for me: homes, food, grants, and stuff like that were all accessible to me. But I didn't take the advantage of using them. So I would blame the system for me being homeless. I went through the whole, it might surprise you, I went through the whole far left liberal stage of my life as well too. Like I was, Black Lives Matter. We can't be successful because cops are hurting us. Nobody will hire me because I'm black. I can't go to college because of my family past. Like it was a lot of blame, right? And one day, one of my best friends, he's a I would say he's a liberal, but I still love him. I still love him to death, right? Because it doesn't matter what side you're on. We're all human beings. Unless you're like really crazy, then I'll stay away from you. But if you're somewhere moderate and you can understand, he's a great guy. I really love him to death. Pause. There's no homo in that. Like he's like my brother, and he knows it. I don't have to say it. He knows it. And one day he was telling me, the reason why you're homeless is because of these people, because of your history. And I don't know. And this is when DT first became president. And I have voted for Obama, and I was still struggling. Like even worse. It was even worse than when before that. And then DT became president. And my perception of life changed drastically, right? Because I was thinking, how did this guy in the 80s predict that he was going to become president, and then he becomes president? And there's a whole bunch of theories, and there's things that we can spiral down into, but that's not this topic, right? And I said, if this dude is saying that he could become president, and he becomes a president, why can't I do anything that I want to do? And of course, everybody's going to go back to race because he's a white guy and you're black. But I was like, well, there's a lot of successful black people. Why can't I be where they're at? And when you say that, they're like, they kind of just stuck. Or they'll say, well, those black people had opportunities that you don't have. We're all black. It's either you don't or you do, right? It's either you don't or you do. It's not because they're black, they had better opportunities than you. No, we're all black. It's still possible. I remember some girl told me that dumb shit. Excuse my language. Some girl told me that idiotic stuff. I started going to school and psychology. The reason why I got into psychology because I wanted to help people, and I was always helping people, especially in the dating aspect. Sit down with coworkers and help them with the relationship, and then I branched out with other people. They would call their friends and so on. So I was doing illegally like marriage and family counseling, right? Talking to couples, helping them with their problems. And I had lists and lists and lists of clients that we were just talking. I mean, obviously I wouldn't charge them, but they would give me tips or they were nice to take me out and eat and stuff because I was homeless. But we would, have clients like just listen with people, and I would sit down with them every day. And this is something how I learned more about women and learned more about men and relationships. So I went to school. I got my AA. Still homeless, still struggling, using financial aid to live, using food stamps. I was on the system. I was anything. I was working a job at the same time. I ended up getting my BS. So I had an AS. I don't know why I said AA. It's AS and BS. Associates in Science and Bachelor's in Science in Psychology. When I was doing, we had to write this paper, a dissertation. It was like, I think this paper had to be like 100 pages or something. And the thesis had to be like 20 pages. Something ridiculous. It was something ridiculous. And I love, English is my favorite course. I love the English. I love typing. I love writing. I was even writing a book when I was homeless. Like, I just love English. I love writing. I love sharing experiences. And this goes back to why I got into psychology, because I'm a very open book. I love to share things. I love to learn, reciprocate back and forth, right? So I'm writing this essay, and I remember my teacher was so against it because I wanted to find out, how did race become a thing, right? And this is we got to expand our minds now. So we're going to get into some serious talk right here because we're about to expand our minds, right? Ever since man has been on earth, nothing has been here came before us. Obviously, I'm just talking about language here, right? At this moment, language. Obviously, we know the rocks and the volcanoes and all the earth came before us. But since man's been on earth, men have created, I don't want to say, well, we can say men. Men have created most of the language and things in life, right? So I always thought to myself, as I expanded my mind and expanding my learning, who decided that the color blue would be blue, right? Who decided that would be, as I'm speaking on a blue Yeti mic, that's a great example, right? Why did they call it the blue Yeti mic, right? Because obviously it was blue, mine's is black, but obviously because the color is blue. But there could be other meanings behind it. But why did they see the color blue and decide that the color would be called blue, right? That gave me a lot of motivation to write this paper. And at this time, DT had just became president. So I was thinking to myself, or he just hadn't become president, but he was going on. his third year, I believe. And I thought to myself, man, we got all these political problems out here. Where did race come from? Right? And I don't know. My teacher, I don't want to say teacher, my professor was like so against it. And I didn't know why. I was like, why are you so against this? And it was an Asian lady. Right? And I was like, why is she so against this? Why was she not? You know, because in psychology, you can't. It's okay. So you can't create nothing new. There's not a study out there that on the mind that hasn't been done, right? There. So the things that you the things that you're kind of looking on is how to improve the science or how to improve the study of the brain, right? So she didn't want me to do this paper, and I just didn't understand why. I was like, maybe it's some leftist cover up type stuff. They don't want us to learn about it because in schools, especially at that time too, in schools it was like a lot of left leaning policies were being pushed. A lot of left leaning things were being pushed. So if you wanted to challenge race and challenge a lot of stuff, you were probably going to get looked at like you're crazy. Why would you even think? Right. But we're in a psychology course. Of course, you're supposed to think. You're supposed to use your head. You're supposed to use your logic, right? So I was doing the research and I came across this guy, Johann Friedrich Blumenbach. He was a German physician, naturalist, psychologist, and anthropologist, right? And his main focus was zoology and anthropologist, right? And when I was doing this paper, I was researching and I was like, just a regular Google search. So when you're doing these papers, you cannot. There's no Wikipedia. There's no random Forbes. You can't use none of that stuff. You have to use only EDU sites, only educational sites. You can't base your studies off of something off CNN or anything like that. You will get an F. At least my professor was giving out Fs. You cannot use a .com. You have to use an EDU. It has to be something educational. So I came across this guy, Johann Friedrich Blumenbach. And this guy is a German physician. And so I was reading this stuff and I was just like, So he created the subsequent concept of human race, right? And he's not he's a German guy. But, this is in the 1700s, so, this stuff's going to fly. And basically, he's the forefront of why we have race today. And I'm not talking about race car for all you simpletons out there. And you talk about race in cars and all that stuff. But basically, he went around the globe, right? He traveled around and he picked up craniums, right? He did basically his racial anthropology. So he went around the world. He got craniums from, just all these random places. And he worked with other scientists in craniumetry. I think that's how you say it, craniumetry. And then he divided the human race into 5 species, right? So I'm gonna break it down for you right here. And I'm sorry, Hispanics, you were not included. I don't think he made it to this side of the Earth, to North America. I don't think he made it to this side of Earth. So don't be offended if you're not included in what you. I think I was reading something that Hispanics don't even. I don't want to say Mexicans or Hispanics don't agree with brown, right? Because it's something that was just made up. It's not from their culture. But that's not a topic for me to debate because I'm not Hispanic or Mexican. So that's something for them to do. So the Caucasian race, which we all know as the white race, and that was of European origin, right? And now it was reinterpreted also for Middle Easterns, North Africans, and South Asians. And I'm assuming these are the populations that are the white side of those populations. So Middle Easterns would be the Europeans on that side. The North Africans will be the whites in Africa, right? And the South Asians will be the more whites of the South Asians of Asian culture, all right, that live there. Then the Mongolian race, or the yellow race, which included Asians and Central Asians. So that's how we get yellow for Asians. And then I still was researching back how he came up with these colors, so it was very fascinating. The Malayan are brown race, so this is where we get to the brown, which is Southeastern Asian and Pacific Islanders. So technically, Pacific Islanders, Samoans, and stuff like that, they would be considered brown. So sorry, Hispanics or Mexicans, you weren't. I don't think he got that far to North America. The Ethiopian are black race, including sub-Saharan Africans, and then the American, the red race, including all Native and Indigenous Americans. Right, so that's why I say anything made by man, or how I say it, sorry, anything created by man can be used against man, right? And yes, we did have slavery, and yes, the Holocaust, and we had all these other bad things that happened, right? But now we're in 2022, and it's very tough to gauge, right? We're still going to have racism, but it's not as prominent as it was back in the 100 years ago or so. And it's so sad that we are being controlled by something that was created by a German man. No, not just that was out there. These were created by German men. And it's being used against us to divide us, to make us fight amongst each other. It's very sad. Do I agree that racism doesn't exist or anything like that? No. But I think it's petrified and increased by those who want to push a narrative out there, who want to use it to keep us down. And that's where victimhood comes. Right? Now, as I was saying, after I did that study, my mentality changed about how I looked at race, and found out that not only white people can be racist, but everybody can be racist. I know my best friend, he's Asian, and I know how Asians, they look at black people or dark-skinned people in general. Like, even going to China, they were kicking black people out of hotels, putting the signs of McDonald's that black people couldn't come in. Like, they're a very, very racial country. Very racist. Very racist. Right? So why would I only think white people are racist? I've had encounters where I've been with a Hispanic woman, and we were in the alleys in LA. For those who don't know what the alleys are, I suggest you come down to LA. You go down to the Santee alleys, and you can bring about just bring a G. You can get you some stuff down there. And I remember she, gorgeous woman. She was my fuck buddy at the time. And I remember she overheard a lot of Hispanic women, or Mexican women, you could say, per se, who knows, saying, why can't she find a man of her descent? Why should she have to be with that guy? Right? And she came and she told me this. I didn't feel bad because I knew in some sort of way, obviously. But every race has some type of prejudice or is racist, right? So once I started finding that out, life became like a lot easier to me. Like, I started to see things and I was like, man, why was I blaming this one race when this problem is everywhere? why don't I take accountability for my mistakes, right? Instead of saying I wasn't able to do this because of this one race, or I wasn't able to do this because of these certain people. So I had to start taking accountability for my own actions. And once I did that, bro, I started fixing my credit. I started at my own place. I got a car. Like, my life just started changing dramatically because I got out of that mentality of being a victim. I started going different places. I started traveling. I started going out, having fun. Like, now I'm free within the contents of the law, because you're not completely free, right? So I got off the streets. Living a better life, way better life than the 5 years that I was on the street, right? It's because I had that mentality that I would never be successful because of I'm being held down. And this is how race is used, not only race, but just financial burdens and stuff like that. This is how it's used to create this victim mindset, right? We blame everybody else, but we're not taking accountability for our problems, especially in the Black community. Because how can we be successful if we don't handle adversity like the way we need to? It's always not my fault. It's not my fault that my parents didn't teach me how to do my finances better. It's not my fault that my parents didn't go to college, so I didn't go to college. It's not my fault that I'm on welfare because my parents were on welfare and they didn't do good in life. Right? No, it is your fault. It is 100% your fault you're not where you're at. Stop being lazy. Stop being a fucking bum. Get off of welfare. Get a job. Stop spending. The Black fallacy is that you gotta look rich. We need to stop doing that shit. Stop buying shit you can't afford. Save your money. Put it in investments. Oh, I don't know how to invest because, I wasn't taught that. That's not an excuse. I didn't know how to invest until my friend came along and he said, hey, and I was very reluctant. And he's like, you should invest money. You should start putting money away in a 4K and doing this. And I was very reluctant because I thought that I would also have the broke mentality. Like, oh, man, I can't afford to do that. But then I started doing it. And I started seeing the numbers increase. And I said, you know what? Let me start putting money in more and more and more. And let me cut down on the things that I don't need. Because we're trying to be something now to be nothing in the future. I'm going to say that again. We're trying to be something now to be nothing in the future. So we're loading everything to the forefront, but we're not thinking about what's going to happen in the future. Right. So we're out here buying all these chains and spending money. I go on a date. I got $300 to go on a date. Let me take this girl on a date, but I got all these bills to pay, so I know I ain't gonna be able to afford this lifestyle continuously. Right? We front load a lot of stuff, but we don't think about the future. And at that time, my friend, he's Asian, he's setting me up, not for the now, but for the future. And once I started looking at that, and I got out of that mindset of being broke, I was able to advance my credit, advance my savings, advance my investments. Because I said, I got $200. Do I really need this $200 to buy a video game, or do I really need this $200 to give the kids, to give my kids, when I have kids, the best life that I didn't have? Right? Those are things that some people we don't think about. We think about now. Oh, am I going to get laid if I have this? If I have this, this and that, this and that, this and that. Right? That's going to be a problem. Right? The belief system of a person with a victim identity falls along these lines. So if you are suffering from this, then I'm here to help you today. I'm gonna give you some of the I done this in the first episode of Rhodes and Knops presents Anime and Way podcast, and I gave steps to how to become successful, get off your ass and playing video games. But I'm gonna help you today get off of this. So if you're always saying life is really, really hard, right? Change that mindset. Life is, one thing I always say, and it's a quote I always say, life is as hard as life is as hard as you make it, right? If you put these hurdles in front of you, of course life's gonna be hard. If you think that you can't be successful, right? Because the brain and the mind is a beautiful thing. The brain, not the mind. Two different things. The brain is a beautiful thing. If you can think it, be positive, it's going to happen. It's like if you tell yourself that you're not sick, you're not sick, you're not sick, eventually you're not going to be sick. I do it all the time because it controls your body, right? It controls mostly everything. So your whole body, actually, right? Like when you see people that have the will to, willpower is a very beautiful thing. They get in a car accident and say their leg doesn't work, and they tell them to move their toe. But the more they tell them to move their toe, I know some it's very minute, but they keep moving their toe. They keep moving their toe. They keep telling themselves to move the toe. Guess what? That toe is going to move eventually, unless they're completely paralyzed. But then you'll know that from the beginning, obviously. But if you know that there's a chance that you're going to come back from that injury, and they say, yeah, you'll be able to move your toe. Believe me, you put that in your mind, you keep doing it. That's why rehab is so successful. That's why people that work out, they get big, they get strong, because they put it in their mind that, oh, I'm going to grow. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. And they're consistent with it. It's going to happen. So when you say your life is really, really hard, you continue to say your life is really, really hard. Oh, I can't make it because of this. I can't make it. You're going to stay there. You're going to get sick. You're going to get depressed because you're putting that in your head, and your brain is taking that and using it against you. You're making yourself depressed. You're making yourself sick. So to get out of that mentality to say, you know what? Life is only as hard as I make it. If I want to make my life easy, I'm going to do that. And it takes a lot of brain power and will and thinking to do that. You need to go out and put yourself in situations to be successful in life. You're gonna struggle through it, of course. Don't think that I didn't have to work jobs that I didn't want to work and go to places that I didn't work. I still, to this day, well, not anymore, but recently I had to work a job that I was just there because I just didn't have anything to do. So I was just there, just collecting the pay, knowing I didn't need it, but I just didn't have anything to do. So I was like, oh man, I'm gonna have to go through this process again, working under somebody because COVID or whatever, you know. So, and I've told the people too there, like, I'm just here just to collect pay. I'm here for this is the thing, I'm here for the meantime in between time. I'm not going to be here long, right? And I'm just here to just collect a little pay here and there. And then once something good comes up for me where I fit in a position that I'm looking for. And it's the same thing for people that are going to school. You have to have this adversity. It's going to make you stronger. Go to a job just to get paid, like part-time. You might not, I'm not saying go to a job you don't like, but get a job that you can get while you're going to school so you can have a little extra money for yourself. Put that money away, especially if you're living with your parents and they're taking care of everything, right? So you're going to go through adversity, especially at a young age. You're going to have tough times. You're not going to be making the money you want to make unless you go to school and have, even then, like I went to school, I got my bachelor's degree. I still had to do 5 years of basically free work, internship, right? So it's not as it's pretty on the other side as they say it is. It's going to take time. You still have to go through the adversity and the struggle to get to where you want to get paid at, and then you still I might still do the 5 years, get out, and still not find a job, or not find a job that I want. I might have to start working in the mailroom. It was something I had to do. I had to work in the mailroom. Right? That's not what I applied for, but I didn't have the experience to go to where I wanted to go. So this is, oh, well, here's your start. You're going to work in the mailroom, which I thought was pretty fun. But it wasn't, it wasn't for me. So I did alternate routes, but yeah, you're going to have your bumps in the road, but it's up to you to say, am I going to push through this? Or I'm just going to cry and be a baby about it. So moving on to the next one. Don't get up. You'll just get kicked back down again. And that is what I was just saying, just about adversity. Right? There's going to be things where you're going to be down. I was working a really good job. And we all got laid off due to COVID because we were non-essential. and there was just nothing going on. Like nothing going on. You couldn't go to work. Only here in California, obviously. But if you were like in Texas or states that were open, all the northern states were open. You would be fine. And we got laid off due to COVID, and I couldn't find a job to save my life because you couldn't. People weren't working like that. Everything was closed down, and I was doing flights back from China and back. I was basically dang, I can't even think of the name right now, but I was a manufacturer associate for this company, so I'll fly back and forth to China to check out the product, see if we liked it or not, how much we would pay them for it. I would relay it back to my boss. This is what we're doing. This is how we're doing it. And then I would come back with everything, loads of stuff. Well, I wouldn't come back with it, but we would have the sales. We would complete the sales. I would forward them the money, and then we'll come back and we would have the product. But when that happened, it was like really, really. I wasn't even getting unemployment. Well, eventually I got the unemployment, and boy, we was eating, boy. I'll tell you that. California, they weren't playing. They was giving everybody everything. So, I mean, I guess that was a good thing about it. But yeah, but that time was hard because I had rent, I had my car note. Even though those things were taken care of, right? Just imagine the you have $5,000 in your savings account, and you don't know when you're going to go back to work. You don't know when employment's going to kick in. You don't know that stuff. So you're paying all the bills. You know, you got your car note. Something breaks down. Like my tire popped like 3 times on my car. Just a lot of stuff, right? So you're down to your last grand or so. Your rent's coming up. Your car note's coming up. You know, unemployment has to kick your electric bills up. So there's just a lot of things, and you know. That you should be worried, but I went through that struggle and I came out, you know, and one thing that I do is I pray, and it has never failed me. Like I always, I pray, and I've never been fearful of not getting a job because I know the skills. Obviously, you have a degree. People don't think like, oh, I have to have a degree for this certain job. No, you just have to have a degree, and you can get into any job that will accept you. Right. And I've never been fearful of not being able to get work because I pray and I believe and I keep it in my head that I'm going to get a job. Every time I get a job, no matter what happens, I always get a job because I put in the work to be able to get the work, right? The places that I want, where I want to sit down and I want to type and I don't have to lift heavy things and get paid minimum wage or whatnot. So that's another one. Always another thing that people do is beware. Always beware of trickery. It's around every corner. Yes, that I don't agree with because it is. You do have to be aware of that stuff. It's not around every corner, but it's stuff that you have to be aware of, that you have to take account for. You have to be aware not to get played, right? But I see what they're saying. It's not around every corner, but this one is it's kind of self-explanatory. Just don't get scammed. Not everybody's after you, right? Don't think like everybody's after you, which leads us into the other one. You can't trust anyone. You can trust a lot of people. I've met, especially after I graduated from college, I did my internship. Man, the best thing you can do is network. That's the best thing you can do is network, right? And you're gonna have to lend trust to some people. You might not want to, but if you think positive, you're like I said, you're gonna hit the bumps in the road. Once I got OSHA certified and I went into construction and I was networking with contractors and going to flip houses and stuff like that, and you don't think that there were people that led me on and then business just fell out. You're doing 3 months. You're going to these places. You're going from bank to bank. to get these loans on a home. You know, you're busting your butt. You're driving miles and miles from city to city looking for homes. And then the whole project just falls out from under you. You don't think that all that time and effort and it just all fades away, right? You don't think that's a bump in the road? You don't think that's adversity? It's up to you to continue to do so. But if you just quit then and there, it's like, bro, that's on you. That's going to be tough because you quit there, now you done gave up on your dreams. You know, great example. I tried the YouTube thing 5 times before I actually. It's not nothing big because I don't really post as much as I should because I'm more focused on other things outside. But I tried it like 5 times and I would quit. I'll come back. I quit. I come back. I quit. I come back. And now I'm going to start posting these episodes on there, you know. And then every once in a while, I'll post other things that I like to talk about on the YouTube channel. But I would give up on myself. And then as time passed, because the earlier you start, the better, right? It's about history. It's like credit. You have to have history, right? It's like savings. You have to have history to save. You have to have that time. That's saying history, sorry. You have to have that time to build up, right? It's like if I would have started my YouTube channel in 2010, it's 2022, I'd probably be way ahead of the game now. Instead of wasting the time saying, no, I don't want to start it now. I'll come back. Like even with TikTok, even though that's a different situation on my TikTok, I was fluctuating between other things and doing other things. But it's the same thing. If you start now, be consistent, just like working out, you will get the results you want. This is the worst one. I can't. It's self-explanatory. You can. If you can't, then you're just a bum. You just don't want to. Don't talk to me. I don't want to hear it. That's the worst thing you say. I can't. Oh, I can't do this or I can't do that. You got 2 legs, 10 toes, 2 feet, 10 fingers, 2 hands, arms, and a brain. And this is not for everybody, right? I'm not talking about people that can't walk or, paraplegics. I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about the people that are able-bodied to do so, right? And even those people, man, I seen a video of a guy in a wheelchair who robbed a store with a gun. He used his feet. He used his foot to rob the store. To rob the store with his foot. He in a wheelchair. And then they got more motivation than most people that have an able body. Man, they got the Special Olympics. And those people are doing more than people with an able body. There's people in a wheelchair playing basketball. Most niggas don't even know how to shoot a basketball. Right? So, it's... I can't... It's... I don't want to hear that shit. You just don't understand how hard it is for me. That's another line. If you say that shit... Life is hard for everybody. White, black, purple, green, yellow... Doesn't matter. Life is hard for everybody. Every single person. It doesn't matter if you're rich or poor, middle class, if there is a middle class still. It doesn't matter. Life is still hard. You're not going to get an easy path to everything. Yeah, people with money might have it easier, but that doesn't mean that it's guaranteed for them. I've heard and I know a lot of people that parents are successful, but they're not. They can't get a job. They stay on the couch and play video games. They're not getting women. They're not doing successful shit in life. Because your parents' money is not your money. Right? And this is what the dumb minds don't understand. Just because your parents are rich doesn't mean you're going to be successful. It doesn't mean you're rich. Right? Look at Jackie Chan's daughter. Right? Dr. Dre's daughter. Right? These are successful men, but their daughters are sleeping in their car. Sleeping in their own cars, right? Think about this, right? Just because your parents make money doesn't mean it's your money, right? And those are the things they were sleeping in their car. I don't know their situation now, but at these times when this stuff was reported, they were sleeping in their cars or they were at their girlfriend's house, right? So, fuck all that. It's hard for me. It's hard for everybody. People are going through it. You think these people became rich just because they were rich? No, they had to work to get rich, right? You think LeBron James became, I don't want to say he's the best basketball player in the world because there's some niggas on the street, man. But you think LeBron became a good player in the NBA? He made it to the NBA without it being hard? You thought it was just easy to go to that place? To make it to the NBA? No, it was hard. He had to put in a lot of work. You know how many people make it to the NBA a year? I think it's like 50 something. You can only 50. I think it's like 52 or something like that. Players get drafted out of thousands, because thousands of players go to college. Millions of players are in high school. How many of those out of those millions are going to get a scholarship to go play in college? Not a lot. They didn't, and it's not that they didn't work hard. They just didn't outwork the other people, right? And it's never over. You can go to JUCO or whatever, but to get to the NBA, that's the ultimate goal in that profession, right? And that's going to be the hardest thing to do. So it's going to be hard just to get there because you're competing with millions at a lower, even at a younger age, as an adolescent, maybe 7, 8, 9. You're competing with billions of people because the whole world is now competing. Right, and then when you become a teenager, some people have fell off. Now you're competing with millions. Then to get in college, now you're competing with thousands to just get in the NBA. Now to get in the NBA, now it's only 52 people can make the NBA out of those 1,000 people who go to college to play basketball. Probably even more than that, right? So yeah, it's life in general is going to be hard. You're going to have, and I don't think like I said. Is you make it hard. These people make it hard for themselves. It's not hard because, this and that. It's hard because you make it hard. You allow it to be hard. Everyone is picking on me. Ain't nobody picking on you. Fuck out of here. Everybody's going to talk shit to everybody. Fuck out of here. They are always bigger, badder, and smarter than me. That's true. Right? I'm not the richest person in the world. I'm not the biggest person in the world. I'm not the best person in shape. Right? There's always going to be somebody. I don't even know why that's even a thing. Why would you even care? Right? And these are bad things to have, to believe. Why would you even care? I go to the gym every day, work out when I'm not out of state or when I'm not traveling, and work out. I'm going to see somebody that looks more aesthetically better than me. But that's not going to be me like, damn, I'm going to stop working out because he's bigger than me. Damn, I shouldn't even compete. No, I'm just going to keep working out, getting better. Right? There's always going to be somebody smarter than me. The best thing that I can do is just try to be as smart as possible and learn as much knowledge as I can. You can't compete with everybody. Like, right now, I can sit next to a person. He might be smarter than me in anime, but I might be more mature in life, right? Nobody's ever going to be perfect. There's somebody that's going to know something that you don't know, and there's going to be something that you can do that other people can't do. It's just life. And it's not something you should focus on. But all that said, I hope this encourages people to get out of that victim mentality and into a mentality of will. To be successful, to eat. It's time to eat out here. Especially with this president. We need to eat as much as we can because we are in trouble. We are in dire need of to eat as much as we can. But with all that out the way, this is where we're going to end the episode. Man, this is the longest episode I've done. But I think it's very important to get these topics out there. And this is going to go on the Tube. This is going on Apple. This is going on Google. So look for that. Obviously on Spotify already. Anchor. But just pray, man. And work hard. Don't give up on yourself. Just work hard. Pray. Eat healthy. Work out. Do some yoga. And really focus on your craft and bettering yourself. That's my advice for you. But until Monday, if we do anything on Monday, which I will, obviously, until Monday, please do not waste this opportunity.